Bruh, when I read this headline, boy, I thought I was reading a headline out of the Babylon Bee. Okay, I thought this was satire, but it's real. It is absolutely 100% real. Jim Cramer says that he has COVID and claims that he has been triple vaccinated and he has a mild case. Now, y'all tell me, if you're vaccinated, I guess one time's vaccinated, right? And you happen to catch COVID, they call it a breakthrough case. So if you're triple vaccinated and you catch COVID, is that like a 3 times breakthrough? Is that a triple breakthrough? Right? What do they call that? Okay, what is that? I want to know the name for that. Now, this comes after Jim Cramer went on television a couple weeks ago and basically called for Joe Biden to use the military to force people to be vaccinated so that we could get past this pandemic, right? That's what he called for. And just a few weeks later, after he's been triple vaccinated, he claims he has COVID, right? And again, I'm not making any claims about the virus. I'm not making any claims about a vaccine. I ain't making any claims about anything, right? If you have any questions about the virus, vaccine, the pandemic, any of that stuff, please consult your medical professional. Please consult your medical professional if you have any questions about that stuff, okay? But, here's the thing, man. When is common sense gonna prevail? I mean, let's be real, right? When at some point are we gonna learn that, hey, you know what? We have the vaccines. The vaccines play their role, right? And we just got to learn to live with this virus, right? We just got to learn to live with it. But before I really get into my commentary there, let's actually listen to Jim Cramer here.
About COVID yet again, Jim. I mean, here we are. I'm sitting here in Englewood Cliffs, our headquarters. You're at home right now. I think that's where you are.
Yeah, I'm at home.
And anecdotally, I think we can both say I've never known so many people who've got the virus. Now, thankfully, they're all.
I got 3 of a kind.
Yeah, 3 of a kind, and we know what those are.
3 of a kind.
Thankfully, everybody I know who's got it is not sick because they were triple vaxxed. But it's everywhere. It feels like. Yes, you do.
I have COVID. I came down with COVID on Thursday night. I had tested in the morning. Didn't have COVID. Tested in the evening. I had COVID. Woke up Friday. Felt pretty good. Woke up Saturday. Worked out hard. Woke up yesterday. Man, my hardest workout in ages. And I got up at 4 o'clock as usual today. This keeps me from joining you because this keeps getting that second line. These are the Abbott Bionex Now. I recommend them to everyone. I actually have, David, contact trace. I know exactly how I got it. And it's certainly not encouraging for people because I was at an event where you had to have PCR. You had to be tested that day. I got it that night from someone who was tested that day. And the problem is, David, is that it just works so fast. You can't stop it. Meaning that I can test in the morning and feeling great.
Yep.
I test in the evening feeling great, but then I'm giving it to people. So, I don't know. I feel so good. I feel like I should go for a run today. I haven't run in a long time.
It's funny because I've had similar conversations.
So, again, I'm not making any claims, right? I am YouTube. I am not making any claims whatsoever. But, according to Jim Cramer, he's been doing contact tracing, so he think he knows how he got it. Again, triple vaccinated here. He went to an event where there was PCR testing. And I'm assuming that everybody that got into the event tested negative going into the event in order to actually get in. Apparently this thing, I don't know, maybe the new variant is so evasive or whatever. I don't know. I have no clue. That for whatever reason, he still ended up getting it. Okay? And again, my question is, when will common sense prevail? Okay? As we have some more high-profile figures that have caught this virus or apparently tested positive. We have Senator Cory Booker, right, who has the virus with mild symptoms. And apparently Elizabeth Warren has it as well. We're going to talk about her in a little bit, but let's read here. 2 former 2020 presidential candidates announced positive tests for the coronavirus Sunday. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Cory Booker. Booker, who received both doses of the vaccine and a booster shot, said he tested positive for the virus while encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. I learned today that I tested positive for COVID-19 after first feeling symptoms on Saturday. My symptoms are relatively mild, said Booker. I'm beyond grateful to have received 2 doses of the vaccine and more recently a booster. I'm certain that without them, I would be doing much worse. I encourage everyone who is eligible to get vaccinated and boosted, he added. Okay. Early on Sunday, Senator Elizabeth Warren also announced she tested positive for the coronavirus, saying she had relatively mild symptoms. I regularly tested for COVID, and while I tested negative earlier this week, today I tested positive for a breakthrough case, Warren tweeted. Thankfully, I am only experiencing mild symptoms, and I'm grateful for the protection provided against serious illness that comes from being vaccinated and boosted. Warren advised everyone across the country to get their vaccine and booster shot as soon as possible. As cases increase across the country, I urge everyone who has not already done so to get the vaccine and the booster as soon as possible. Together, we can save lives. Okay, so yeah, as you can see here, there are major figures who, are in the Northeast, right, the northeastern part of this country that are getting this virus. And I hope that they all make speedy recoveries. But this is happening in the northeast part of the country. And there seems to be a new surge that they say is happening because of the Omicron variant. And in response to this, there's been a lot of talk about New York going back on lockdown, right? Is Hochul, the new dictator of New York, gonna put the state back on lockdown? Obviously they already have the vaccine mandate, stuff like that. I just saw a story about how the new Boston mayor is, implementing a mandate, vaccine mandate indoors. And then you have DC that's now re-implementing their indoor mask mandate. So they're doing all this stuff. And again, my question is, when will common sense prevail throughout this whole pandemic? I have not heard any of these major politicians come out here and tell people, hey, you know what? Listen, at this point, we don't really want to ruin our economies anymore. We don't really want to take away your freedoms anymore. We encourage you to get vaccinated, but maybe y'all should hit the gym, right? Maybe you guys should work out, maybe lose some weight. Okay, maybe we should actually be, subsidizing people to go to the gym or something, right? Maybe that's a policy that people should actually start considering. Okay, everything has always been, let's push this mandate, that mandate, when is at the point now where it's like, okay, even with, these vaccine mandates, you still see people getting it, right? So now it really comes down to survival rate, right? Increasing people's chances of surviving. And that is basically what the whole vaccine conversation has been about now. That's what it's about, okay? Considering the circumstances that we're seeing. But again, when it comes to that, you never hear about them talking about people taking care of their health outside of just the vaccine, right? You don't hear about them saying, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a good time for the government to have a renewed focus on exercise, diet, living a healthy lifestyle in general. Putting yourself in a position where you don't have these pre-existing conditions that may put you in more danger, right? Maybe that's something that we should now focus on. Maybe this is a chance to focus on trying to make society healthier as a whole, considering that, it looks like, again, we're just going to have to live with this thing. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's not what we're hearing. What we're hearing from the Biden administration is that, there's going to be a, new winter of, death and destruction, I guess, right? Particularly for those that are unvaccinated. That's what they're talking about. But again, they're not pushing anything else, in my opinion, that I think would actually be helpful in terms of saving lives, right? And again, I find that stuff to be fascinating. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Some people may look at this and see the irony of, these Democrats, some of who these major figures, catching the virus and whatnot. But anytime these Democrats catch this virus, guys, like the major figures, it's not a good thing, right? For various reasons. One, because they caught the virus, but two, because they tend to use that as an opportunity to push more lockdowns and mandates. Okay, that's what happened after the Democrats, the fugitive Democrats from Texas, fled to DC on a plane, and they happened to test positive after doing that, right? After that happened, that's when they really started ratcheting up a lot of this stuff again. This situation right here, I kind of see it's the same thing, where you have these prominent figures that are now tested positive for this thing out of nowhere, and you got places like CNN closing down. Okay, they're closing down their headquarters. People can't go into there. There's these other major places that are closing down that you can't go into, and they're not doing things in person anymore. Again, this is how it starts. It starts with major figures getting it, and then they use that to say, hey, you know what? This is why we need to push more lockdowns, okay, and more mandates. That tends to be what happens. But again, I never hear them talk about anything else that may be helpful, right, for helping people, you know, kind of get through this thing back and help us get back to normal. Like, you know, I don't know, diet, exercise, taking care of yourself, just in general, right? Don't really hear much about it. But hey, you know, there's not really all that much money in that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.